What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Indy Investor Pod. This is Brian here today, and I have an amazing guest. I'm super excited to get into just talking to everything that's going on here in Indy when it comes to just title services and everything, anything that investors might need to be aware of when it comes to closings, when it comes to deeds, possible mobile notary or video notary, those types of things. So I got Mr. Michael Beasley with me today, so very excited to talk to him about all this stuff. So with that, let's get on with the show.
Hey, Ryan.
All right, and welcome back to another Indie Investor Pod. Like I said at the beginning, man, I am super excited. I got the president of ITS, Investor Title Services, here with me, Michael Beasley. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain.
That's when during this climate, when people say like, "Hey, things are good, I can't complain," that's a good thing. So that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Probably the same thing with you. Just like you guys might have been just as busy as all get out and stuff with everything.
Yeah, things are still going along. So we're still open and closing files, and um, it's still a good environment now. Deals are still out there always, it seems like. So we keep going.
Yeah, I think it was the big thing. I'll just, and kind of Michael is, like I said, the president of ITS, title, just a title company here in Indianapolis. I know we've done a lot of deals with them. They're great. I definitely recommend them. I know a lot of investors, whether in state, out of state, have worked with you guys, and everybody says great things about you. But I wanted to just have you on the pod today, just to number one, you kind of talk about a little bit about yourself and stuff too, but then really get into everything that is going on here in Indianapolis with just all this stuff that's going on. I think the big thing was when 2 weeks ago when all this stuff was hitting, our biggest fear is like, oh man, are the title companies going to close? Like, what's going on with that? And all of a sudden, we're still essential. So
Yeah, apparently, yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, it made me a little nervous in the beginning. I mean, you never know. Like I mentioned before, our business is based on risk, and there's a lot of things going around that create risk. And if we can't get documents recorded and transfer the properties properly, then there's a risk there. It started to get a little scarier when more courthouses and counties started to close. Luckily, Indiana, out of the 92 counties in Indiana, I believe 82 of them now are on e-recording, where we can electronically record, which is good. Some of the bigger counties, like for example, Lake County, I know, which is right in the region where I grew up, they don't have online recording. And so if we were being such a big county, and then when they closed their offices, to enter any kind of traffic going in and out, we were kind of at a standstill. So that kind of creates risk for us. We don't want to be, selling property and giving money out if we don't know for sure if, they could be selling to someone else and no one's recording anything, and then it's all a big race on who gets the deed recorded first. So that's kind of scary.
yeah. Oh wow, yeah. The stuff with us as investors we don't really think about, like on your guys. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's just kind of talk about, since this is we're kind of like 3 weeks into this now and everything. So let's just kind of talk about, you can talk about definitely about your business stuff too, but let's just talk about title companies in general here in Indianapolis. And like I said, you guys can definitely talk about how you guys are doing things. But what are just some of the changes that you've seen yourselves and some other title companies like kind of do over these last 3 weeks of just kind of what's going on inside your office or with the e-recordings and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, we have chosen, our office is still open. We are still, we're trying to accommodate as best as we can with all of our clients. Um, Being in the investor business and, dealing with all the other consumers as well, we have always been built our structure on making things easy, kind of streamlining our process. We do a lot of email out closings. We do mobile closings nationwide. Those are still, I haven't seen any hiccups in those yet, which is a kind of, because you're actually, as long as you meet in an open atmosphere, we don't like to send people into people's homes right now to close. So I do see a little bit of price increases going up when it goes down to that, because, it's risky. And but like I said, we try to accommodate. We are having closings in our office. We just have taken different procedures. We schedule buyers and sellers separately at different times, and we only allow the actual signer in the office. We ask the realtors, any mortgage brokers or anything like that, if they would graciously stay home. And we'll just, we'll wire their commission, we'll, or send them or in the mail or whatever. And just more towards email, we'll do curbside closings, whatever, works best for them.
Gotcha. Yes, that's a big thing. So even just from the investor side, I think it's just big on making sure you have that communication on the front end with all that stuff too. Because I'm used to, you go to the title companies, you have our representative that's like shaking hands and making.
Yeah, yeah. So we send out as our closing confirmation now. They have to, if they can't answer yes to these questions, then we don't really want them in. They want us to call us in advance so we can make other arrangements. So
Yeah.
we're really proactive on, getting the word out there and how things will go to make things smoother and protect our staff.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Big concern. I know we were talking offline too. Just like you got extra hand sanitizer in the office and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Run
yeah.
documents out to the
Everything in the
car.
office is touchless, which makes things nice. And, we have commercial hand sanitizers. I think there's 4 of them all over the walls. And, but, it's probably good anyway. We should probably practice this all the time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what always pops up in my head. Of like, yeah, why wasn't I doing it? I go to the grocery
Yeah,
store. Oh, how many things
yeah.
do I actually touch? Like, I'm getting germs all
Yeah,
over
I
the
can't believe how many times I touch my face now that you
place.
actually think about it,
Right. Yeah.
But,
So
uh,
when it comes to you're talking about going through there's a lot of like email stuff and just email closings or some of the some of the mobile stuff. Like what are some things that some of the investors just need to be aware of, or maybe even just some of the things that you see of like maybe you see investors doing like that they're just like, hey, you need to like make sure you like need to shore this up or to help the title companies out or just even just make sure they're covering themselves on any of that stuff. Is there anything that pops out to you?
I just get as much information as you can. Everything we do is information based, so the more details we have, the better outcome it's going to have. A lot of times we get stuff, new orders and things like that, where we don't even have seller contact information, and it's just much easier for us to go direct to the source, and we're able to get things done a little quicker that way, as opposed to going through one person and then the other. Make sure on another standpoint, again, with everything that's going on as far as lenders and things like that, I mentioned before, there are some lenders out there that have suspended doing loans. So you really want to watch out for that, and just make sure that you have inspection periods and things like that, that you really want to plan this out before you get stuck in a contract that you can't perform on.
Right, right. As far as like Indy goes so far, since this has all happened, like, have you seen the number of closings like slow down or depreciate a little bit, or are the numbers up, or what have you been seeing from?
We have been about doing the same. It hasn't been terribly, like, it hasn't fallen off that I've seen. I know there's, again, that, like I mentioned today, there's a lot of deals out there, and I think people, I read online today that some people are taking their homes off the market, which is a little scary, but I think that all in all, I think investors, this is there's certain times that are good for investors, and this will probably be one of them.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Through all the circles, just all the investors, all the webinars, all the meetings I've been on, I'm just like
Yeah,
some investors are like, hey, I've been waiting for for times like this, not to like cash in on a downfall or anything like that, but or a crisis.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and I'm an investor too, and I just found 2 deals, so
yeah,
they're out there.
definitely. What about like I kind of want to get into maybe a little bit of like time length. So we haven't seen. I know just from our side, we've been getting properties under contract and able to sell them pretty easily, but it seems like maybe the process is taking a little bit longer. And I don't know if that's necessarily like maybe the lenders or what about just from the title standpoint? Are you guys seeing like? Does it seem like it's taking a little bit longer for you guys? Or are you right on track with?
It depends. See, here's the thing with title. It kind of depends on what county you're in. Obviously, a lot of the stuff we do is in Marion County. We have a lot of resources in Marion County. Just last Friday, we did a closing in the midst of this, and we're actually seeing things come back a little quicker. We actually did the closing, recorded the deed, and it came back in 30 minutes. Now that's something that's very rare. You know, you just don't see that. So we were able to close, record the deed, issue the policy, and everything, you know, right there on the same, you know, within an hour. Um, Different counties, you have to understand that when county offices close, to the public, a lot of times they don't allow searchers in there. And these are people that pull documents of record to produce a title commitment, and, you know, because we have to examine those documents and make sure we have everything. Well, when the counties are closed, we don't have access to documents. So again, we're in a risk scenario where we really need to see those documents before we can make a determination on what we need to do to clear our requirements to move forward. So, so the whole county thing, like I said, if more counties were to close, we'd see a lot bigger impact in our industry.
Yeah. And not to like put you on the spot with speculation or anything. Have you heard about any, you know, anything like that? Or like are you guys worried about it? Or do you have like a, like 1 to 5 of like, hey,
Um,
okay.
we have a lot of, you know, like I said, our underwriters and the Indiana Land Title Association, they are like on the forefront of all this. They will do whatever they can, you know, because we're part of the economy. This is what makes the economy go.
Yeah.
So they do whatever they can to help us. And like I mentioned, Lake County before, which would, you know, cripple that county.
Mhm.
Uh, I heard today, I believe this morning, that they have reopened, just because, again, like I said, I mean, we take risk anyway. For example, when we do a closing, say we close today, Marion County is usually a couple weeks behind on updating their system. So that's what we call a gap period.
Yeah.
And so we take a risk. So that we're used to taking risks, but if we can't get documents recorded, say 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, you know, while we're holding it, you know, there's a problem there. So, you know, we're adding more requirements on our title commitments, on certain files, you know, with lenders and things like that. We have to, you know, add exceptions. You know, there's going to be exceptions on your policy for this and things like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're, you know, we just want to cover the basis, and, you know, there's extra documents now you have to sign at closing. So you'll see them coming over.
Yeah. So what it like when you're talking about like some stuff like that, like where there is that gap in there, what are most of those things that pop up in those areas? Is that like the, you know, Department of Code Enforcement fines, like those types of things, or what? Like,
Yeah, that's a perfect example. You know, because sometimes, you know, there may be a case open from 2 months ago, but then all of a sudden, then they have another hearing set out, and boom, there's a fee assessed, and it's in that gap period. So those are something that, you know, we have to. It's again, it's a risky thing. You know, and I've seen in the past where people have, you know, sold the same house twice, going to 2 different title companies. So that's something we wouldn't catch. So say they closed in our office on Wednesday and they go to another title company on Friday. That's something that wouldn't show up, you know, in our search. So that is something that would
yeah.
become a problem.
Yeah, that has happened. That's happened to us, I think, twice in the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah, it happens.
And it's scary and stuff, like you said. Like it is a risk business and stuff like that, and you gotta do
Yeah,
that. I mean, you guys, yeah, you gotta stay solid. And that's what the business is kind of built on, and you know, make it.
right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just kind of get into, or just, I know we've kind of already mentioned anything. Is there anything else that you can think of that maybe just investors, something that's changed that investors need to be aware of, or something that maybe is just, maybe it wasn't the same, you know, a month ago, that any of those changes that are taking place that pops up in your head?
I think for the most part, I think things are, you know, pretty um, much running as normal as we have always done things. I think there's a big nerve. A lot of people are nervous and things like that, which is completely understandable. But you know, we just got to move on and stay safe, and, you know, get through this. And like I said, I think it's going to pass, and you know, we'll definitely see a difference, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Let's kind of get into, I know a little bit. So we're recording this on Friday, and I think we were kind of talking offline beforehand about that some of this might change by Monday, or some new things might come out and stuff like that. But let's kind of get into a little bit of the just the video notary, or being able to do that online or not necessarily in person, that type of thing. What information? I know like Colorado has been doing it, I think this week and stuff like that. But do you have any information just about that process of kind of how that's looking for Indiana right now?
Yeah. So originally, it's called RON, is what it's called. It's Remote Online Notarization. It was originally scheduled to go into effect legally, I guess, on July 1st. Since all this has happened, um, our underwriters, the Indiana Land Title Association, and even the American Land Title Association have all been proactive on trying to get these pushed through legislation to try to up the date, basically. So the last I heard, I believe everything's ready to go here in Indiana. I think the governor just has to sign off on the bill. But starting Monday, we will be able to, you have to, obviously apply to be a remote online notary. And you can do your applications, you can go ahead and take your course and get that set up. We use an outside, there's 5 approved online notarization companies here. So, we're in the process of getting that set up. So hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be able to actually do remote online notarization.
Okay.
So it'll be completely like no human contact at all,
There
pretty
you
much.
go.
There's like an identity process that you have to go through, is because you really have to verify your identity and things like that. You'll be asked to click on a link, and it'll ask you questions from your credit report, like, did you ever live at this address and things like that. So
Gotcha. So it's not just me like hanging out here with my ID, like, and taking a picture.
yeah, like we couldn't do it on a Zoom. We couldn't do a Zoom closing or anything, it's all monitored, and it's very, but it'll be very helpful for us, especially now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like this is, it's definitely speeding up that process and stuff. I know, like you said, it was getting ready to take place in like June 1st and stuff like that. So like, are you like, I know from you guys, your standpoint, are you guys like excited about that? Because I know you guys have been like kind of pushing for.
Yeah, I mean, this would be so much easier, and eventually down the road, it'll save clients money because it would be cheaper
Mhm.
than an actual mobile closer if you look at it that way. So it'll save you money. So that's what we want to do, is save you money.
Yeah, nice. So why I have you on here, I love to ask just title companies and people that work in title companies this question, because you guys kind of get like two different frames of people when you're, we have like the realtors and people that are buying homes like that, and then you have the investors and stuff. So what are some, kind of put you on the spot here a little bit, what are some of the things that maybe investors do that kind of just like, man, what are you doing here, and that like, we can't do this with title? Or is there anything that pops out that you just see, whether it's in-state, out-of-state investors, like anything that pops out, there's like, man, get
I
yourself.
just think, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of funny things. Like investors are really funny. They're all about price and savings and things like that, and a lot of them are unorganized. But that's what we're here for. You have to be detailed to be in this business, the title business. It's a very detail-oriented business, and I don't mind like kind of coaching people through that. It's something I kind of enjoy. So I've been doing it for 28 years, and well, 10 in Indiana, and 18 years I think in Florida. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of quirks with realtors and lenders and different conditions they have and things like that. But I mean, the title business in general is a very interesting or fascinating business, I think, just going back in the records and some of the stuff you see, and it's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I know we've talked offline before on some of the stories that you faced and stuff. So that's always
Yeah.
entertaining. Um, but what are some? I got you. We got you maybe about another 5 minutes here and stuff. But like, what's just some advice that you have for maybe just some new investors that are out there. Maybe somebody that's looking to, I don't know, whether they're just starting investing here on their own, or maybe they're out of state and looking to invest, for the first couple of properties here in Indianapolis. And guys, do you have any advice just for new investors as they're looking to get started?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I would say is just because I think people make promises, I guess is the best way to put it, to people, and then they can't really perform. I just be honest with who you're dealing with. I mean, don't try to uh, go behind their back and do things, and just be upfront with them and tell them, look, I'm a wholesaler and I'm going to turn around and sell this property. Uh, Sometimes I've had people walk out of closing because they were kind of left in the dark as the original seller, and people just don't like to be taken advantage of. So if you just, everyone's there to make the money, I guess. So just be honest, and it'll probably lead to a better outcome.
Yeah, awesome. That's great advice. Definitely appreciate that. So let me give you a little bit too, just to kind of just plug your guys' ITS and what you guys do. I know a lot of investors do work with you guys. We've closed multiple deals with you guys and really appreciate you guys and stuff. But can you just give us let me give you a little bit of time, just kind of like plug what you guys do, how you guys maybe you enjoy working with investors. I know you just even said that you love kind of educating and helping them out and stuff. So that's awesome. But you just want to kind of give maybe just a little maybe how they can reach out to you guys, a little plug for your business and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we're Investor Title Service. We're up on the north side, College and 86th area. We have been open in Indianapolis for, it'll actually be 3 years next week. I've been like I said, I've been in the business for 28 years. Most of it was in Florida, but I'm originally from Northwest Indiana, like the region area. We do a wide variety of closings. We do a lot of, I'm really good at like package deals. We do a lot of bulk transactions and commercial. We even do commercial. We may be moving into other states eventually. But yeah, we do as much as we can. Now we're, with the refi boom, the rates, you gotta love these rates. I mean, it's, we're in a good position, and like I said, we're based on service, and we'll do whatever we can to make your transaction smooth. We can usually push closings, especially cash and things like that. We can get them done in a week. We're pretty flexible, and I don't know. It's a great business, and like I said, I'm an investor too, so I kind of get everyone's what's going on, and I don't know. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, there are a lot of really good title companies here in Indianapolis. Ones that are great working with investors and stuff like that have been around the block. ITS and Michael are definitely one of them. So if you want to, Michael, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
You could reach out. My email address is michaelb@itsclosing.com. You could also email info@itsclosing.com or info@investorstitleservice.com. Our phone number is very easy to remember. It's 317-755-1000.
Yeah. So awesome stuff, man. Any last words of wisdom, or just anything as we're going through all this stuff? Anything else you want to put in here towards the end?
Yeah, if you can also go to our website. If you can do orders online and things like that. And I just hope everyone stays safe out there, and social distance.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Michael. Just really appreciate you, and I appreciate your business and what you guys do here in Indianapolis. So thank you so much for that. And with that, guys, we will see you later on this week with another Indie Investor Pod. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Brian.